wants to live in Mexico. If we wouldn't want to live in Mexico, then why do the tios, the señores, the men, and the women too? They be working here for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. They just live in one room sharing it with a bunch of dudes. They send all their money back so they can build houses for their families, and they can't wait. They're just counting down the minutes in a year until when they can actually go back. Even las familias that live here, buying houses over there too. Every Mexican that I know own their houses here. They buy a house in Mexico too. They're building it or they're already bought it. So yes, nobody wants to live in the United States. I was born in the United States and I don't want to live in the United States. The next 5 years, I'm moving back to Mexico. Yes, we do want to live in Mexico. The only thing is that we're just making money here so we can actually go back to live in Mexico. Ain't nobody trying to live in this sweatshop of a country with a Gucci belt on.
I'm making this video because I wanted to support Shea Shelf, who is promoting a protest for August 1st. Complete blackout on African braiding shops, restaurants, and stores, right? I'm absolutely here for this. I'm showing my support because I do this in my everyday life. I do not shop with the Africans. Ain't no African ever braided my hair, put their hands in my head, or none of that, right? I don't do the restaurants. I stopped like years ago. I do not shop with their stores. If I walk into a store and I accidentally realize, not for me, right? So she's encouraging that we do an August 1st protest all through the month of August. I think it should continue throughout for the rest of the year, right? Let them really feel the heat, okay? Because they are confused about who they are, who we are, and what this is all about, right? They're so busy licking boots, they don't seem to want to give us our respect. They need a wake-up call, right? Because clearly they don't understand that the large majority of why you are even in the space that you're in is because of us, and that our dollars are the ones that pay your bills. Because we black them out. I want to see how many white people finna support y'all, right? I want to see how many of y'all businesses is really going to be able to stay afloat month after month of black people not supporting you, right? Like, let's really be about it. So in support of Shea's Shelf, I am even pushing past August, but it starts August 1st, okay? Complete, total blackout on Africans, period, okay? Let them know what time it is.
There's an internet psyop taking advantage of undereducated African Americans called the FBA movement. FBA stands for Fear of Being African, I think, and it's causing a sect of African Americans to grab onto certain catchphrases and hot terms to disparage African people and distance themselves from their own African ancestry. They claim they've always been in America, and the Native Americans are really the ones who came over to America. Or like, something I noticed about these people online is that every single one of their accounts look a lot like bot accounts. And the ones that aren't bot accounts, you can tell by their profiles that these are losers. These are people that contribute nothing to the African American community, but they're so proud of being African American based on, I don't know what. And I'm an African American. I'm very proud of my ancestry. I'm proud of the things that we've accomplished. I'm proud of who we are. But we're African people that were born in America. And the most intelligent thing we can do strategically and socially and politically is to connect with the continent. Otherwise, if we isolate ourselves in the Americas, we will get genocided. So whoever is behind this psyop wants you all to get murdered. You're distancing yourselves from Caribbean folks and African people saying they want to be us, and it's the dumbest ever. I just want people to be aware of it. Don't fall for it. Like Dr. Umar said, if you don't want to be African, fine, stay the away from us, okay? And don't speak for us. Don't speak to African people on our behalf. Don't speak to Caribbean people on our behalf, because you don't know what the you're talking about, okay? They're not trying to steal your identity or steal the reparations that you will not get from America. So let us smart people connect with the continent, connect with our heritage, connect with who we are.
You cannot tell the average Jamaican right now that they are African, even though 90% of the population is predominantly of African descent. You can tell the Indian that they are Indian, and they have a clear sense of what Indianness looks like and feels like. But you ask about the Africans, and then people look sideways at you and wonder if you're going mad, and have a retort ready for you to say, no, but you're Jamaican. But if you came from Africa as corn and are planted in Jamaica or Trinidad or Tobago, you don't become peas. You're still corn. So it is, again, a disconnect between our past selves and our sense of history, and the loss of that sense to the reconstruction of ourselves in other people's image and likeness. And therefore, that's the recipe for cognitive dissonance, a sort of madness.
All right, so let me just touch on two things. The main video that you're able to see of the Hispanic woman there, basically stating that all of them really don't even want to be here, and they're just here out of convenience because it's convenient for them. And this is what I talked about before, that this is why none of them, you really see them try to assimilate, because they're not about assimilation. They're about taking. They're about seeing what it is that they can grab and take it and then go back to wherever. She literally said that they all hate America. They don't even want to be here. And they're consistently sending money just to build up homes back home. In a moment of time that they build that house, they're out. And she said, who wants to, go or live in a place and be broke and work in these shops? And no. If you just said, see, this is the problem that I have. You're stating that America basically is nothing to you. That home is the best place directly on the planet. That's where everything is and all this other type of stuff. But what you're trying to do is cheat the system, right? You're going to America to become richer than what you would normally be, because you'll be poor. No matter how you look, you will be directly poor. We already know what your job would have been if you were directly back home, right? And instead of dealing with those circumstances, dealing with that situation and trying to make something out of nothing, you were like, the easiest route for me is to go to America real quick and get these American dollars, because the value, is a lot more. So then when I exchange it, I'm going to have every bang for my buck, right? Literally. So that's what you decided to do. You wanted to cheat the system. You didn't want to work hard. You didn't want to build yourself up. You didn't want to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. You're doing any and everything possible to alleviate any little bit of hard work. And it's crazy to say that, you're going to be here doing this for like 30 to 40 years and that. Just go back. Just go back. Why is it so difficult to just be in a group like you are here and build up home? To get that 5 bedroom home or whatever it is that you said that you're trying to specifically build. Like, that's crazy to me. And you get online and you're telling everybody how it is that you basically hate America. That's crazy. Like, it'd have been different if you have actual Americans that have their gripes with the United States. Like I said, it's different. Black Americans have their gripes. You got white Americans out there, they got their gripes, and maybe one other group, right? But for you to literally say that you and yours are only here because of convenience, that says a lot. That says a lot. And it also says that you need to just go back. Don't pass go. You just need to go right up out of here. That's it. You ain't taking nothing with you either. Go right back out of it. The only thing that you could probably take is whatever's in your bank account. Because realistically, like I said before, this further proves how a lot of people who come here are 100% selfish. They are for self. They're not for America. They're not for making America better, right, as a whole. They're just here to take. And she clearly stated that. So now we got another video here. Technically we got a 2-in-1 type of deal, right? The second video dealing with the black woman saying that you have black women that are going to boycott a lot of African braiding hair shops. I'm 100% for it, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm for black women boycotting these hair shops. Number one, the Asians and the Africans work in tandem. They both don't even like y'all anyway. Right? The Asians have mistreated y'all. We've seen that over the last 10 plus years, how it is that they treat y'all. They will parade y'all around, call y'all criminals, lock y'all inside of their stores, and they'll do a variety of things, right? And then call the police after they're done directly with you. I got videos right now of Africans treating black American women a certain type of way in their own hair shops, talking to them a certain type of way in their hair shops. And I guess they forget that they're in America and that their primary 99.9% of their customer base is black women. White women are not going to African braiding shops in the hood. And again, this is where a lot of their braiding shops are. I cannot even really give you a braiding shop that I've ever seen that's African, that's based in a white area. What white women are getting their hair braided on a daily, on a weekly, on a monthly basis to the effect that it's keeping them in business? They're not. They're not. Like I said, a lot of these individuals, a lot of these immigrants or people from wherever, they tend to open up their shops in the hood first, because they know that black people are going to support it. Oh, you open up a Thai place, cool. Vietnamese place, cool. We'll sit up there and try it. You got a Chinese place, cool. We'll try a Japanese spot. Oh, cool. We'll try. Right? We will literally try and support all of these other nations and their food and their businesses. And people know this. This is why you don't see them trying to hop and just automatically go directly to the white section first. They're not, no. Because white people will literally support their own, and white people will spread stuff by word of mouth. They'll be like, oh, that place is bad, don't go there. And literally people in that white community will not go there. They won't do it. They won't spend a dime directly in that place. But black people, it's a little bit different. You can have somebody like say that, yo, this food ain't that good or whatnot or whatever. And you might have, a few segments of black people not going there. But then other black people be like, yo, I'm going to sit up there and give this, a shot or give them some time to basically get things together. And they will keep putting money directly into their pocket up until they get it together. See how that works? See how that works? It's crazy. Right? But like I said before, I've covered videos before of which, again, more videos where people did not want to pay attention. And I specifically showed, and I also did a live stream on it, specifically showed the numbers and the facts that black women contribute billions of dollars. I'm talking about billions upon billions of dollars, if not higher, when it deals with the beauty market, when it deals with the hair, cosmetics, and things of that nature. And the amount of money that black women even spend yearly, black women could have literally had their own bank. They could have had their own bank in the United States. That's how much money black women spend yearly directly on cosmetics, on beauty, on hair, nails, all of that stuff. Like I said, it's crazy work directly out here. And we have somebody that wanted to leave a comment on X. And again, like I told y'all before, I happen to block a lot of these out because these people get paid for engagement. So they're not making anything directly from me showcasing this comment. We don't do that here. We're not doing it. It's only going one way, and it's to me. So this person said, I think you are the ones that's confused about who you are. We Africans are not your problem. Your problem is yourself. You have no respect for yourself or others. They later said, I live in Bamako, Mali. Born and raised, and it's located in West Africa. Haven't you heard of Assimi Gota and Ibram Toure? And, another one I'm not even going to try to, mispronounce. Those are my presidents. I don't envy going anywhere else. I have everything here in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. Those are my countries. I can employ 10 of you, meaning black Americans. The life I live is the life you dream of having. I'm not going to cite what I have in here as wealth, but trust me, you'd wish to be my wife. I'm not ashamed of who I am, or who I represent. I'm not like you. We Africans are respectful and proud. Many Africans go to the United States by choice, not because they are forced or they don't like their country. The disrespect and the hypocrisy is your last statement. Let's not forget about the laziness. That's some crazy work. Crazy work. And his comment is going to follow into something else that I'm going to talk about, which is the third video. But like I said before, this is how they tend to talk about Black Americans online. You got those that want to speak high and proud, right? You got two sections. You got those that want to speak high and proud about themselves and everything else while bashing Black Americans. Then you have the other ones abroad in the UK, in Canada, in the United States that want to be in those places and still talk real greasy about Black Americans. Crazy work. Getting it from all over the place. And it don't make no type of sense. It makes zero sense. But you're saying all of this because a Black American woman said that, because of how it is that we're being deemed, seen, and treated by Africans out here, we're going to boycott your business. Or, I'm sorry, businesses. That's some crazy work. But like I said, Black women, do your thing. Do your thing. And like the Black American woman said, it should go on more than just a month. It should be for an indefinite amount of time up until Black American women feel like they are being respected from the Africans directly out there, them and their money. So last but not least, we got this clownery here. This is the thing that I'm saying, and I've seen these comments directly online. Like I said before, I don't really care what any Black American wants to identify as. I commonly just say Black American because I am Black in America, right? That's just me, right? But it also has to do with the whole lineage-based thing and, generation upon generations of, your parents, grandparents, and everything else like that being here, right? Chattel slavery, all of that history. It's crazy that when Black Americans stand up for themselves, we are now considered hate groups or anything that we are associated with is now a hate group, right? And I want people to pay attention because before, people were doing this with whatever it is that we were doing. We're out here protesting with the police. People are like, oh, BLM and all this. It's a hate group. It's a criminal organization. All this other type of stuff, right? Cool. Fine. No problem. And everybody was running with that whole thing. Cool. Fine. No problem. So now we are calling ourselves, well, you got ADOS, you got FBA, Black Americans, and indigenous, whatnot, or whatever. And no matter what branding or title, all of these groups, all of these people are coming through, sitting up there saying like, oh, you guys aren't really who you say that you are. It's a CIA psyop. It's the government behind all of this. You guys are getting paid. You guys are trying to, take the place of other people. You guys are ashamed to be African and this, that. I'm like, this is my thing, right? Specifically to the guy that you see directly in the video. If you really want to formulate a connection with Africa, go do it. You can go do that without speaking on Black Americans. If you are really about formulating that conversation with Africa, you would literally be doing, instead of you making a video about Black American, what it is that we believe and all this other, you can literally take your tail directly over there and start formulating bonds, start doing business, start buying land. You can start doing that. But yet y'all ain't doing that. Y'all so fixated on what other people are saying that you're not trying to cause any type of motion or waves on what it is that you're stating. Like, it don't make no sense. How do you have so much energy invested on how other people are moving versus the words that you're stating and how it is that you want to move? That don't make no sense. And then you got the nerve, like, stay away from us and don't speak for us. Yo, let me let you know something. You're not ever in your life going to tell Black Americans what it is that they can say or speak directly on. This affects us because we have other people out here that we have to defend ourselves against every single, like I said, I've been doing these videos, I don't even know for how long now. Even past these years, I don't even know how long I've been covering topics like this, where disrespect has just been happening. And then to further that whole thing that he was saying, I gave y'all a video specifically of I'm gonna say an African, somebody from the diaspora, right? A woman speaking and stating how if you tell Jamaicans that they're Africans, they're not trying to hear that. So I'm like, so why are you so invested in Black Americans? Shouldn't you? Because in Jamaica is small, right? You could go directly over there, educate those people. You got a better chance of reaching the greater majority of those people and educating them and formulating bonds, having them formulate bonds over there with Africa and vice versa, and all this other type of stuff. Like I said, Black Americans have a vastly different history when it deals with things versus everybody else in the world. But for whatever reason, everybody is fixated on Black Americans, how it is that we think, breathe, eat, and view things. Like I said, like this guy here, you literally have a platform and a voice, but you choose to put and use your platform and voice and talk about Black Americans. Why not just fixate all of your time and energy on trying to use that reach on getting in touch with Africans who are directly over there, trying to figure out which countries and areas that you can go to figure out whatever businesses that you want to do, and like, why aren't you doing that? That's where your energy should be going. You shouldn't be saying nothing about us. Realistically, we wouldn't even know that you exist up until you tell us. But like I said before, a lot of them, they do this for attention, and I want people to understand how it is that they're playing this game, right? A lot of them will get online and they'll say that a lot of Black Americans, a lot of FBAs, a lot of ADOS and all these other types of groups are psyops, and they're getting paid to do this. This person is literally on TikTok. He's on social media. He's making a video. He's doing this to get paid. The only way for a lot of these individuals to bring awareness to themselves is to specifically bring up Black Americans in a negative light. He's talking about how it seems to be trendy to use certain terminologies when it deals with African or whatever migrants directly out here. But he's not talking about how trendy it is that we got Africans from the UK, Africans from the continent. We got people in Jamaica and the islands. We got people in South America. We got people in Canada. We even got some of y'all here in the United States all making videos talking about Black Americans. Doesn't that sound like a trend? Doesn't it seem like everybody's jumping on the bandwagon because it's popular and it's making money and it gives them eyes? Like I said, you got to understand how these people work. They will say one thing while still playing in your face at the end of the day. That's some crazy work. And then acting like they standing on something. You ain't standing on nothing. Like I said, the only reason that a lot of y'all are even able to stand, especially in the United States, is because we were up here standing. And because we're still standing, we hold our hands up to create a platform of which you're walking directly on. As disrespectful as all of y'all are. How it is that y'all don't want to acknowledge nothing, and then y'all got the nerve to get online and try to sit up there and say that we lazy. That's specifically why I brought the video of the Nigerian women lazy, deciding that they don't want to have a Nigerian child in Nigeria. They want to have that Nigerian child over in America. So it becomes easier for them. So that's their leeway in order to get into this country by way of that child. Not hard work, not dedication, not pulling themselves up by their bootstraps, but trying to cheat the system, trying to use a loophole while still calling Black Americans lazy. Like I said, the last time anybody has been even anywhere close to referencing Black Americans as lazy was after slavery was done and ended. That's when all of this nonsense, that's really where it came from. That's where a lot of this rhetoric came from, where people are like, oh, Black Americans are lazy. They don't want to work. They don't want to do nothing. Y'all just mad because we don't want to work on these farms. After y'all just sat up there and sent all of your free work, all of the migrants, the immigrants and whatnot, y'all done sent them all back home. And y'all thought that Black people were about to sit up there and come back and work? No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We did it once before, and we told you we're not doing that again. What about that do y'all not understand? When Black Americans say that we're not going to do something, we literally mean we ain't going to do that. We're just not. We'll do everything else. You'll see us in colleges. You'll see us in trade schools, all this other type of stuff. And that's another thing that's getting y'all mad. Black Americans are educating themselves in a variety of ways. And even if they're not in some type of an institution, they're educating themselves by way of online, which is free. There's a lot of free information and teaching courses directly online. And you have people becoming entrepreneurs, inventors, working in family businesses, doing a variety of things. And people don't like that. People want to be able to see what it is that you are able to do as a Black American. And they also want to be able to control what it is that you're able to do as a Black American. The moment that you're out of sight, and out of mind, that's when the whole thought process comes in, where they're theorizing what it is that you're doing. In a moment in time that people got to theorize what you're doing, always know it's 100% negative. They're never going to theorize that you're doing anything positive, because that's not the way that the world works. That's not the way that a lot of these people work directly out here. It's just not. Like I said, it's crazy. All of this is mind games, and all of this is control. Remember, I read off to you guys from a book dealing with history when it dealt with the Cubans, how the CIA specifically backed 50 storefronts for the Cubans. The United States government was literally backing immigrants. So pay attention to when these people are trying to sit up there and say that, oh, these black Americans, these FBAs, ADOS, the Hebrews, the Israelites, and all these other types of groups, they're hate groups, they're xenophobic and yada, yada, yada. They're paid, they're ops and all this. Nah, it's really y'all. Because I have not seen, out of all of the time that I've been doing social media, this has been one of the weirdest times, because this is the only time that all of these people in unison have been pulling up to the scene to specifically try to call out black Americans on their belief, or how it is that their point of view, or what it is that they specifically feel about, you know, certain conversations or people's directly out here. This is the one time that y'all have literally came up in unison all together to do this. And that's weird. It's almost like I told people before, if you think this is weird, look up the Antarctic Treaty. How all of the world's governments came together and be like, yo, we're not going to have any types of wars, discrepancy, arguments, or anything. This is just for science and military only. It don't matter what else is going on in the world. Everything here is going to be straight. Right? It don't even matter if two areas up there in Europe are fighting. Guess what? Y'all going to be working here. Y'all ain't going to be fighting here. None of those disagreements are going to be happening here. And that's what they do. Right? And that's what the whole world did. But yet you as a normal person cannot go to Antarctica without authorized permission, which is weird. Right? But yet, like I said before, the governments came together on that. Interesting. Just like how all of these people are coming together against black Americans. Interesting. Okay. But anyways, let me know what y'all think about this video and everything that I state in the comment description below. And always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.